We have 20 seconds until we go live.
Thanks, Jesse.
Cool.
Two seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live streaming audience there at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, LinkedIn, Periscope's very own TV, Apple TV. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify. And hey, if you got an Alexa lying around, say, Alexa, I'd love to listen to KMET, 1490 AM, and we'll be right there. On today's show, we're taking a completely different shift here from the norm. I know typically we talk coronavirus, typically we talk the news, typically we talk what's going on in the world, but you know what? I feel we need a little bit of a break from that. And as you all know, I have been trying since I think the beginning of time to get a hold of this next guest. I met her about, I think it was like a year and a half ago or more. And I instantly, when I heard her voice, I stopped in my tracks and said, whoa, where's that coming from? And in the moment of it all, I got what's called, I think you get kind of drawn in like a laser beam with her voice. And then you hear the rest of the music. And then you say, oh, wow, I got to buy that CD. So joining us right now, waiting in the wings over there, is our very own Amy May, known as, just go check it out, Amy May Music. Amy, good morning. Hi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, well, look, Amy, obviously you are doing some pretty cool stuff. I understand, though, unfortunately, well, let me go backwards by saying typically you're on tour at around this time. Is that right?
Yes, I'm definitely usually performing a lot, in my life, whether that be here in LA or touring around the world somewhere else. So yeah, it's been an interesting year, as it has for everyone. Yeah.
Well, and look, coronavirus, obviously something no fun for anybody, right? But I understand, again, your latest CD, which people can go and get right here, right now. Like if anybody's like delaying on this, just go get it. Seriously. Amy May Mystic. For those that maybe have, and we're going to give them a glimpse of your music in just a bit, but you've been performing. I got to ask, when did this start for you? At what age did you say, I'm going to go and tour the world and share my love of music?
In my teens, I think it all began because I was in a girl band for a couple of years, straight out of school, and it kind of got me. I was always really into acting and dancing, but the girl band kind of got me into singing, and the songs were written for us, but it kind of taught me about songwriting, and I'd always studied kind of literature and poetry, and so I began to put together my own lyrics. And when that band ended, I started writing my own songs and learned guitar and piano, and then was able to start kind of making my own vision of the kind of music that I wanted to put out there to the world. So yeah, I started pretty young, but it's just, I feel like it's a lifelong process. Being an artist, you're always going to be looking ahead to how you can grow and how you can express yourself better through music, because obviously as an artist you're expressing your own journey, and that journey is always going to be evolving. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of evolving, I think your music has evolved over time. I listened to some other versions of your music, and for those that don't know, I feel they should follow you on social media already, because lately you've been doing some really cool, and I call it kind of like well, let's put it this way. Some of us are sad, some of us are mad, and some of us are angry. And we're just wondering, how are we going to get through it all? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So every Sunday, can you talk about something that you do pretty regularly, by the way?
Yes, absolutely. Since this since the lockdown began here in LA, which was around March, middle of March, or I think around, beginning to middle of March, or I obviously suddenly found myself in a position that for the foreseeable future, I wasn't going to be able to perform live. And so I began to do what I called my Sunday Serenade, which is on Facebook Live every Sunday or almost every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll just spend about 45 minutes to an hour playing my music and chatting with people, because obviously I see comments come up. And it's been very much as the performance side of things, it's also just been a conversation and an opportunity for connection for everyone sat at home, going through this crazy time. And I've always found music incredibly healing, but also for me, it's a way for me to share my heart with people. So obviously I've been experiencing all these crazy things, but then to have people's comments come up and share their experiences, it's been this beautiful little community that I've been able to, dip into every Sunday, and hopefully other people have been able to get something from it too. So yeah, I'm just so grateful that I've had that. It's been a real lifeline for me.
Yeah, and speaking of lifeline, one of your songs, which is absolutely my favorite, I had it on replay ever since I met you, and I hate to say this publicly, but this song, which we're about to play in just a minute here, for those of you tuning in, this is a live show, but we're gonna play some of her recorded show of her Sunday serenades to the world, which I feel, again, you definitely should tune into. And what we've done differently on this show is I put a link on our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube link, and all that. You could click on it if you'd like to donate to Amy and or buy her CD. We have the links for you right there, ready to go. Okay, but first, before we play that, I got to ask Amy, this song. Why did you what was the inspiration for this song?
So which song? Sorry, is it Signal?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I love that you love that song. So Signal basically came about from, a relationship had ended, and, we'd had a significant amount of time apart. But I was still kind of having, that person, I think it's so interesting how someone's energy stays with you, despite not being physically with them or having physically seen them for, sometimes even years. I feel like it's so, I don't think we imagine it when we still feel their presence, with us, in terms of how we remember them. And I really believe in energy and how we can impact each other's energy by knowing each other and having that influence on each other's lives. And that's what I was feeling at that time. I was feeling the energy of that person, but at the same time, the relationship had ended. And so I didn't want to reach out unless they were feeling the same thing. And yet I had all of this huge amount of feeling on my chest of I need to express this. I can't say it in a text or make a phone call because that just would feel wrong, or I'm just too scared. So, as a lot of the time, instead I wrote a song and that tends to be how I can cathartically express and process what I'm feeling without, necessarily having to engage directly with the person I'm having that feeling about. So, I'm quite shy, so it helps me in that way.
No, I get it. I think we've all been there, right? You always you get a little bit into your mindset and you're like, you don't want to throw your feelings out there. You don't know how they're going to be received. But I always say, better to know the end result than wonder about the end result. However, saying that, here's her song. I'll let you introduce it and then we'll go right into it. Amy?
So this is a song from my album Mystic, and this is called Signal.
Here it is.
Can you hear me screaming at the top of my lungs? But my mouth is closed and no words come, 'cause I'm struck dumb. Can you see me standing outside of your door? But when I open my eyes, I'm still lying right here on the floor. 'Cause it sounds good in my head, but I'm too scared. So this is my signal. I send a flare. where you are. 'Cause it feels good in my head, but I'm too scared. So this is my signal. I stand up there. I light up the sky, right up in my mind somehow. No, I still care. This is my way. I'm never scared. Say I'm strong when I said things don't look hard. Let's start over again. Yeah, oh, this is my signal. I send a flare. I light up the sky. You run out, break my mind somehow. No, I still care. This is my way. I'm never scared. Say I'm strong when I say things don't belong. Let's start over again. Over again. Yeah. Can you hear me screaming at the top of my lungs? But my mouth is closed and the words come, 'cause I am struck dumb.
Amy May, everybody. I'm telling you, that song Signal gets me every time. Amy, obviously, we got a lot more going on here. We need to take a break, but when we get back, everyone, it's Amy May. Go find her online right now. Amy, we're going to keep you for the rest of the show. We're kidnapping you because I can't get a hold of you otherwise. Is that okay?
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Aaron.
All right, awesome. Okay, we're going to be right back. Again, Amy May, check out her CD during the break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, we're on a commercial break, everyone. And if you're just joining us, or if this is your very first time, don't let it be your last. We got lots of great information. Granted, we don't always do the musical thing, but I feel we should. I feel we should do more of that. Right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That song was amazing. Like you could just feel the energy from it.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
I would bring Jesse on for those of you that are used to seeing Jesse. But Jesse, do you want to explain why, or should I?
Okay, I'm currently sick. My body is aching, headache, body sore. I don't have the Rona, so don't be scared. I just have a head cold. That's what happens when you fall asleep with wet hair.
I don't know, Jesse. I don't know. I just know I'm not coming anywhere near you. No, I'm just kidding. Thank God for virtual, right? Right, Amy? I mean, you know.
Yes. I mean, I'm grateful because I got to go straight from sleeping in my bed to my living room today. That was a lot easier at this time of the day for me than having to then travel. So this is perfect. I love it.
Which I always say you should be able to do international touring already. I mean, you could be on other news broadcasts, through, Skype, and there's so many other new technologies now that you don't even have to be in the studio to make it happen, right?
No, exactly. It's lovely. I was remembering actually like last summer on my tour in Germany, I had to wake up really early for like a TV interview. So when I went to bed last night, I was thinking, oh, okay, I did that last time. Yeah. I think as an artist, you don't normally wake up early because your work is generally in the evenings, and so you tend to have a different time schedule to everyone else. You tend to go to bed around like 1 or 2 and then wake up at like 9 or 10. And so an early morning, like 6 a.m. feels very strange. But at the same time, you know, I always think that we probably don't need as much sleep as we think that we do. You know, I'm sometimes like, you know, my best days ever have been when I've had like 2 hours sleep.
Don't remind me.
It's all psychological.
I'm operating on literally 2 hours of sleep. So, but you know, I you know, it's funny how the brain works. The brain can do some pretty amazing things. And sometimes we just limit it, right? Back to something you mentioned earlier, energy, right? A lot of people don't understand that. Maybe when we come back, we could kind of discuss that. Because I've often said it's, you know, people often get or understand when you talk about, like, for example, people on the same
10
frequency.
seconds.
You know, if you're on the same frequency, like twins, for example, perfect example. I know triplets that just like communicate without even talking, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
2 seconds.
Exactly.
All right, hold on. We'll be right back. That's right. That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, Periscope TV, and LinkedIn, and however you're connecting with us. We want to hear from you. Yes, social media comments are alive and well. Let's see. We've got Penelope over there saying good morning. Let's see. Maria tuning in. Thank you. Good morning. Stephanie Reed as well. Good morning from Cleveland, Ohio. We appreciate you, Stephanie. Let's see. We got Katya Wunderland tuning in from Switzerland. Awesome, Katya. Thank you very much. Maria from Canada is saying, I played her music yesterday. Awesome artist. If you're just joining us on the radio, we're talking none other than to Amy May. You can find her at amymaymusic.com. Get all of her information right there, or just follow her on social media. I've been doing so for quite some time. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on YouTube. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel, by the way, or buy her CD. If you want to buy her CD, go to amymaymusic.com. Find her right there. We still have Amy here waiting in the wings. Amy, obviously, look, this is at a time where, you know, I remember seeing one of your broadcasts and you were talking, you know, kind of like, I mean, we've all, look, I love it when people are more real than fake about their own natural reality of, it's coronavirus, right? And, or something happens in life and you're just not feeling it, but you still push on and you still carry on your broadcast, which I say, I applaud you on that. That can't be an easy thing, but at the end of the day, you're always wanting to inspire somebody listening. And I feel like you said some things that honestly hit home, not just for me, but for others. Cause, you know, back to social media comments, you can reach out, they can reach out, and there's a shared experience.
Yes, exactly. I think that one of the biggest parts of, I think, human suffering that we experience during our lifetimes is feeling alone, or feeling that we're strange or weird for going through these kind of thoughts and feelings that we have. And I think that the one salvation for that is knowing that other people are feeling the same and experiencing something similar. It almost like immediately removes a lot of the weight of whatever we're experiencing, just to know that. And so that's why, when as soon as you have a little community where you're all able to kind of say, that's what I'm feeling too, and I can relate because of this, and it might not be exactly the same scenario, but there's maybe the feeling is the same, or it's making them think something similar. And certainly with music, I feel like it's the ultimate expression that we can all relate to, in the sense of, I don't know why, but music on a vibrational level, even without words and lyrics, tends to like stir some kind of emotion, doesn't it? I listen to a lot of classical music, and so the reason I listen to it is because of what it creates in a feeling for me, whether a sense of calmness or inspiration. But I think certainly with my words that I use in my songs, and kind of coupled with the melody, I am trying to express something that I hope will move or inspire, or kind of have something for people to relate to if they were feeling alone, because I know that's what it's done for me.
Yeah, I'm appreciative that you said that. So every now and then I talk about, people's emotions, and I talk about how emotions can oftentimes be triggered by an emotional moment in life, right? And oftentimes music sometimes can either soothe the soul, or it can have you relive it so much so sometimes you got to kind of change the tune. Does that make sense? But
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know that certainly sometimes after a breakup, there are songs that you won't listen to just because you know it's a little too painful, you know, but then there are other times that you'll kind of want to dip into that feeling because of the sense of, you know, memory that it evokes as well. So I think that is one of those things. Yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be ready, but at the same time, it's a tool. It's a way of connecting to a feeling, and so I think that's wonderful. I can't imagine life without music, you know. And the fact that that's what I do for my career, I just find it such a privilege.
Well, I think it's the word that keeps coming to my head is cathartic, right? It's very cathartic. Sometimes to get through it, move through it, and then get through on the other side saying, okay, what's next, right? Push forward.
Exactly, because I think that once you've been able to go deep into it and feel it, that's when you can kind of come out the other side of it. And I think that's how music helps. You know, often I'm quite an emotional person, but I don't cry that often, which is, you know, kind of a bit of a strange, duality. But I know that music will be something that will kind of not help me cry, but like kind of really get me to a place where my heart really then connects with the feeling, and then I might cry and then I'll feel better, you know. So it is definitely something that takes you down and then like hit rock bottom maybe, and then you can bounce back up. I think a lot of the time we're just kind of, you know, sailing through on the surface of things and never really processing them in a healthy way where we're able to then move forward from that. You know, we just kind of stay stuck in the chaos of the feeling and then whatever else is going on in our day. But I think it's often only through really feeling something and kind of facing it head on that you then are able to be like, okay, I'm ready for the next chapter, or I'm ready for the next thing.
Yeah, and if you're not ready, you can always run away, if that makes any sense there. Let's go ahead and play that next song. Amy, you want to introduce this song?
Sure. This song is called Runaway, and this song has actually been extremely appropriate in the last few months because I love to travel, and I'm normally traveling with my work through touring, and it's all about that feeling that you get when you've been somewhere far too long and you're yearning to see some new scenery and meet some different people, and yeah, you kind of have that wanderlust craving, which I get all the time.
All right, Runaway, here it is.
The winds change, a breathing on me. They whisper on my skin, and they call my name, but they don't know me. They just ask me to begin to run away to the place where tomorrow's yesterday. I run away by the light. My eyes without getting tell my friends I'll be waiting to see their face again, and that's my life to be patient. I don't know if and when, but I run away to a place where tomorrow's yesterday. I run away, I divided my life without the winds change, a breathing on me. They whisper on my skin, and they call my name, but they don't know me. They just ask me to be there for a while to the place where tomorrow is yesterday.
That's right, Amy May with Runaway. Look, Amy, obviously I got to ask, you probably get a lot of people's opinions on your music, and I love it that you're actually like willing to hear what they say, because it means something differently to everybody, right? When they listen to the lyrics. Were there any particular moments though that you're like, that's not what I was going for?
You know, I'm not sure. I think that my lyrics, I mean, as much as they're metaphorical, I think they're normally pretty clear. So I don't think that's a really good question, though. No one's ever asked me that. It's made me think. I don't think that anyone has ever misunderstood me, like in terms of what I was trying to say or the message that I was trying to create with a particular song. So I guess that's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want somebody going, no, I'm ready to run away from life. Don't do that type of runaway is my point.
Right. But at the same time, obviously, I hope that they are kind of ambiguous enough so that they are relatable to everyone. I think that's the key thing as a songwriter. You kind of want to always be deeply personal and come from a very real and authentic place. But at the same time, it's lovely that then it doesn't have to be exactly what they're going through in order for them to kind of relate and feel something and get something from it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because empathy has been somehow put at the very bottom of the human culture as of late. And I feel like we need more of it to remember what it's like to, I always keep saying this, look, we both live on this planet. Don't just save the planet, save the people on the planet, right? I mean, am I wrong on that? I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like we're kind of damaging both spirits, if that makes any sense.
Sure. No, I understand. I think that, yeah, empathy is kind of used so much as a term, but I think that compassion and empathy is how we connect. And, but also I think it's something that you do grow over the years that we're here on this planet. I think that, some of us are naturally empathic and sensitive, and other people, it takes a while to go through some things to then kind of work that muscle and be able to think, oh, you know what, I've been through something and I know how hard it must be right now, rather than to dismiss someone's experience. And so I think some of the hardest things that I've been through in my life have been things that have me open up that part of me that is able to then now share that experience and then relate to other people when they share their experience with me, and probably be a better listener and hopefully, kind of just a better listening for and create a space for that person to then share that, because I'm feeling a sense of understanding with what they're going through. It might not be exactly something I've been through, but when you've felt a certain way, I think you can also then understand and imagine how it is for someone else to feel pain. I mean, pain is pain, suffering is suffering. And I think that we can all relate to that. And the more that we do try and have compassion for others, place exactly where they're at, then we have more patience with them and we have more patience with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, I do believe that the way we feel about ourselves is the way that then we treat and view others.
Amy May, everybody. You can find her on social media, Amy May Music. We're still got more Amy May with us. So for those of you typing in your comments, keep the questions and comments coming. Speaking of which, we've got Rosalie tuning in saying, that's the beauty of music. Everyone can take in a song and relate it to their own special circumstances. And I love this one, by the way. Maria from Canada is saying, I would love to watch a full concert of hers anytime soon, Amy.
Well, I mean, right now, my online concerts are probably the best way for me to do that. I think that, if you're on Facebook, which you are, if you're watching live today, it's at Amy May Music, and you can follow me and then, kind of be able to access those Sunday serenades that happen every week. And if you can't watch live, you can also, watch after the fact or watch others that have already been recorded in the past weeks. But yeah, in terms of live concerts, I really hope soon to be kind of touring again. And, I'm hearing about live music opening up in certain states and certain cities. And LA is definitely one of the most conservative places in the country right now for not really allowing it or not really kind of encouraging it. So that will change as things move forward and we feel like it's a safer environment. But I also then might find myself in the meantime traveling to other places that are allowing it, just so that I can still, to reach people in that way.
So if you'd like to support Amy and keep her safe than sorry, make sure to pick up her CD right now and keep her busy over there. Okay, I seriously, I've got ideas that we need to talk about, but let's take a quick break here on the morning show. If you're just joining us, Amy May, everybody, go find her on social media. We're gonna keep her here with us, though. It's very difficult to get a hold of her. Seriously, it's harder to get a hold of. Honestly, Madonna, I think, then okay, we'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right. If you're just joining us, we're on a commercial break with Amy. Amy's still waiting in the wings. We got Jesse over there. I know he's pretty silent, but he's kind of sniffling over there. Jesse, you good there? You're alive, right?
Yeah, I'm alive, kind of, mostly.
Oh, no. All right. For those tuning in, I feel bad because Jesse's like, I don't want to go on camera. You ever have one of those days you don't want to go on camera? What about you, Amy?
Yes. Luckily, today isn't one of them. I'm super happy to be with you guys today. But yeah, of course, we all have days where we just want to stay in bed and, put the cover over our head. But yeah, I think it's good to have time out, and certainly being sick is its own thing. You do need to give your body time to rest. So I hope you feel better soon, Jesse.
Thank you. The good thing though is I actually can work sick. So since there's nobody in this building, it's just me.
That's true. Just wipe it down, Jesse, before you leave. Like like the gyms. You guys ever work out and you're like at the gym and like you see somebody sweating all over the device and you're like, can you clean it up? Come on, right? Am I wrong? Come on.
You're supposed to clean up after yourself at the gym, right? It's etiquette.
But some don't. Some come back from the restroom and they don't wash their hands. Seriously, I have issues when I see that. All right, people. Amy May over there. Let me bring up her CD again. This is just one of how many? I'm counting like what, 8? Soon enough coming up around the corner from you.
What's that?
Amy?
8 what?
Yeah, 8 new songs coming out.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost at 8. So I think that a new album is definitely kind of in the making. I'm in a really kind of exciting process of still working on those songs right now, and finding the right producer to start recording and get in the studio with, which is just so exciting. So yeah, I just can't wait to share those new songs with you, because there are, it's funny, like you don't really have perspective on your own songs, but the new ones always tend to be kind of your favorites, just because they're so fresh in your mind, and the feeling that inspired them is still generally very fresh as well, because it's just within a couple months of whatever you were going through that inspired them. So yeah, that's a really fun time for me, the creative process.
Yeah, Amy May, everybody go check it out. Mystic. Currently, you can just get it right now. Seriously, get it. I like the hard copy though. How do we get the hard copy?
So
10 seconds.
Oh, we'll come back with that question, okay?
Okay, sure.
This way we'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
That's right. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMT, 1490 AM. Joining in our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, Apple TV, LinkedIn, however you're connecting with us. We appreciate you. Let's go to social media comments right now. Let's see. Gordon Tyus says, having a great day. Let's see. We've got Fraser Ramsey all the way from Scotland. Yeah, I love that place too. Got to go visit, by the way. Brian Poole says this: all of her songs are my favorite. He's talking about Amy May, who's with us right here live. Virtually, we're practicing social distancing, guaranteed. I know you may hear some of us sniffling and or having a moment, but none of us are in the same room, and none of us are wearing face masks for that reason. But right now, Amy, look, you've obviously got some time on your hands, admittedly so, but people can go and support you right now by getting a copy of your latest and or your very greatest other CDs. I'm bringing up the latest right now on the screen right now. It's Mystic, but you've got a whole slew of past albums that people can subscribe to, right?
Yes, this is my third kind of official release that I have done so far. I have more that you can find online on all the regular platforms like Apple Music and iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. You can kind of go back through like the other catalog of work that came before Mystic. But yeah, I'm just incredibly like, I suppose, grateful for the support of people that do download and, you know, kind of support me in that way, because it obviously does, you know, create more chance for me to keep doing what I do, you know. And like I said, I find it a huge privilege that this is my career. And during this time when I'm not able to perform live and create, you know, the same income I normally would, I've just been so kind of grateful and touched and moved by the support from my fans that will kind of leave donations or, you know, buy my music just to kind of help me during this time. And obviously I love the fact that then they get my music to listen to and then they can share with me their favorite songs. So yes.
Well, and look, Amy, I'm not gonna lie here. When I was walking literally out of nowhere, I heard this voice and I'm like, wait, what? And for those that don't know, I mean, when you and I met, you were performing live, and you do so pretty regularly, which there are some artists, they cannot perform live. They're great when they go in a studio. It's all, you know, what I call, well, let's face it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the voice now, right? But when you're live, you can't fake that. And how long have you been performing just live? Because I feel some musical artists, they go into the recording studio, they say, hey, guy, can you make me sound good? And the guy goes, yeah, sure, here we go. And then, you know, but you are kind of like my favorite band, U2. They any performance they do, sometimes I almost perform, I appreciate both the live version synonymously with the recorded version, sometimes even more. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that the term recording artist, you know, it does apply to me in some ways because I've obviously, you know, recorded my material in the studio and had it be in that format for people to listen to. But I think that I've been performing live way more of my life than being in the studio, you know. And so, yes, you're right. For other artists, it can be the other way around. But for me, it just always started out as performing live on a regular basis. And it's a very different dynamic. It's a very different energy. You know, I think you can get away with things live that you can't in the studio, and vice versa, in terms of, like you were saying, you know, if you go out of tune in the studio, you can fix that. Live, you can't. But I do think that it's a wonderful way to obviously just hone your skills and your craft, and connect with people. And also as a songwriter, I just find it invaluable to perform live as often as I can, because then I'll always be having a chance to kind of try out those new songs, both for me and for the audience. You know, I get to kind of gauge how they're feeling about a new song. And then I also get to just kind of go over it again and again and again and try different things until it feels right, so that when I do get around to being in the studio, I know exactly how I want it to sound.
Yeah, we got comments from social media. It looks like you're already getting invited. Let's see. We've got this one. Come to Indiana, Gordon's saying over there. How can people find you if, let's say, they want to actually, like, you know, because I know you perform some private concerts. Some are very public. Obviously, during coronavirus, we got to, you know, be more safe than sorry. But, you know, I'm sure there's ways around it. So how do people, you know, book you, for example?
Sure. I mean, there are a few ways to kind of reach me. You can reach me via the contact on my website, which kind of comes through to an email, or you can just set direct message on Facebook or Instagram. You know, I kind of get messages on all of those ways, and I always, you know, try to respond as soon as I can. And I just love hearing from people. So yeah, any of those formats is fine.
Fantastic. Okay. Speaking of which, you've got another great song right here. It is Between the Lines. This song, very, very, maybe you can explain what's between the lines.
So this song is one of like my earliest songs that I wrote. And it was when I still wasn't able to kind of really do music regularly as my main income. And so I had a little job, and it was kind of working in a bookstore. And it was actually a really sweet job that I look back on with fond memories. But at the time, all I wanted to do was music, you know, and so I felt very frustrated that I couldn't express myself in that way, and that I had to kind of work in these hours that kind of like put me in what felt like in a box, and all I wanted to do was be an artist traveling the world. And obviously, you know, you get to like that stage when you earn that, you know, rather than, oh, I want to start being a singer-songwriter. It doesn't happen like that. And so you have to kind of pay your dues in that way. But at that time, I still felt like, oh, I just want to do more with my life. And I'm very much about freedom and feeling free and flying. And I suppose you can look at my life story and see that. But in this song, it was very much about feeling that sense of, who I am right now isn't who I want to be. You know, I'm not there yet. So don't read who I am right now as my potential. You know, I've got a lot planned.
We all have a journey, right?
Yes, exactly.
So here it is. Between the Lines, Amy May.
I work the 9 to 5. They tell me I'm alive. They tell me hope and now. What makes me so secure makes me feel so good. I'm walking out the ghetto box for me and now, baby. Tell me that's gonna be so high. Between the lines, it's me, falling out of time. Can't you see? Walking on the water, things are sailing away. I'm crawling in the dust. I'm looking out for love. I know I don't see much, but if you could make it right, I've seen it in your eyes. You never let them get a watch for me and them, baby. Tell me that's gonna be so high. Between the lines, this is me, falling on the track. Can't you see? Walking on the water, things are sailing away. And in between the lines, I believe that get my wings and fly so high and see the light, things I held so clear. No, don't get a little box for me and them, baby. Tell me that's gonna be so high. I get in between the lines. This is me, falling out of time. Can't you see? Walking on the water, things are sailing away. And in between the lines, I believe that get my wings and fly so high and say goodbye to things I held so dear. I work the 9 to 5. They tell me I'm alive. And tell me hope and
Amy May, everybody. Okay, that was Between the Lines, by the way. You can get it on her CD. You want to get the information out there?
Yes. So Between the Lines is from my first album. It's called Right Now. It's available on Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, I think Spotify as well. So yeah, go find it.
Which I always recommend to get the CD, right? I mean, what happened to the CD? I love the world of digital, like on demand. I one time had a pile high CD collection stolen from my vehicle. Who does that? Seriously.
Oh no.
Yeah, but there's something about like having the actual hard copy and having it forever. And so how can we get your hard copy, by the way?
Yes, I love this, kind of the CD version too. I think it's always just nice to have like a physical expression of whatever music you've made. So I have one here. It looks like this.
There it is.
And woohoo! And because when you design the cover and you put in the information about kind of where the songs are recorded and who produced them, and so it's lovely for me to be able to share that, which you can't do so easily digitally. So you can get that CD by going on my website and clicking on the link for physical CD purchase and ordering it. You can also just send me a direct message and we can figure out how you can get the money to me via PayPal and give me your address. Like just basically reaching out to me is the best way for me to send that to you.
All right. And who knows, maybe you might get an autographed copy. You never know.
Yes, I love to do that. I love to kind of hand sign and dedicate the CD to whoever it's for. It's a wonderful way to kind of make it even more personal in that way.
All right. Your next song I want to get to, because it's now one of my other favorite songs of yours. It's the title's Hold On. Very emotional song, not going to lie.
Yeah, so Hold On is from my album called The Grey Sessions. And, it's a song that, I love that song too. I wrote that in a kind of very sweet place when I was in a relationship that was kind of long distance. And so, for anyone that's done long distance relationships, they are, in equal measures beautiful and also kind of tragic, because you've kind of found this connection with someone, but you can't be together every day. And so, it's really just about kind of sending out a message that, just hold on and we will be together in the end. And, so for anyone that is just missing someone or just kind of hoping that the future means that, you guys will eventually be together, even if it's, a relationship that's ended and you hope that you can one day reunite, which I think a lot of time can happen in life. It kind of brings some of a kind of a hopeful, loving expression to that.
Unless you moved on with the right one. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't hold on. But I'm sorry, I digress. I just, okay. Here it is, Amy May, Hold On.
We'll wait patiently for the moon, the tide, bring us back to each other's side. But I would wait eternity for your kiss, your smile to fall like pretty petals on me. Please be strong, it won't be long. Just hold on. Don't give up on me, I swear to God, I still believe everything that we dreaming of. We'll live a fantasy, just you and I, you and me together. Won't you tell me it's enough? Just hold to our love. Do you believe in destiny? 'Cause I do. For you, I turn my world 180 degrees. I wish for you, you wish for me. Stars align in time. We'll synchronize us so big. Skin on skin, hearts falling. Hear me call. Give up on me, I swear to God, I still believe everything that we dreamed of. We'll live fantasy, just you and I, you and me together. Won't you tell me it's enough? Just hold. tell me it's enough. Don't give up on me, I swear to God. Still won't give me everything. When you do it again. Well, if fantasy just you and I, you and me together, won't you tell me it's enough? Just enough. Just enough. Just enough.
Amy May, everyone, hold on. We've run out of time. Go get her CD. It's available. Amy May Music. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much, Erin. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on Instagram, Facebook. It's all at Amy May Music. I'm also on TikTok now. I'm so proud of that. So
Yay!
yeah, go connect with me on wherever you're at most of the time. I can't wait to meet you.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. All right, Amy, we're going to let you go. I do this after party, so I've already kept you a full hour. I certainly don't want to keep you anymore. But for those last comments, let's just bring them up really quick. Let's see. Trinita says, amazing, Amy. I think you got a new fan over there, or existing fan. I'm not sure. Because you got a pretty big fan base over there, right?
Yeah, like over the years, I've just, been able to meet so many lovely people from performing live in so many places, and then obviously doing different kinds of promotion. It's just wonderful that how people come across my music. I'm always just love hearing about it. So I'm very grateful to all of the people that support and follow me.
Well, you also got another new fan, Maria from Canada. Says my mom's in the other room. She said, "Who's that singing lovely voice?" So
thank you.
There's a new fan right there. Again, go follow her on social media right there. And evidently, some people think I'm kind of old because I like U2. You know what? I got no words for you guys out there. I really do. Let's see. Mario says Erin is old. U2. Oh my God, Bono is great though. Well, a younger Bono, anyways. Whatever. You know what? And then Jesse says, when he asked me about U2, I replied, who? I couldn't hold back my laughter, but I do know who they are. What? Anyway, I got to ask before we let you go. Obviously, everybody always asks, who's among the top 3 that have inspired you in your journey throughout life?
In the music industry or in general?
The first 3 that come to your mind usually are the most impactful.
I mean, I'm really inspired by kind of female singer-songwriters that were really paving the way for us as the female singer-songwriters in today, and so people like Joni Mitchell and Stevie Nicks and Sarah McLachlan, I think that Carly Simon, I listened to all of those singers when I was kind of starting out and in my teens. I just learned so much from listening to them and the way they express things poetically and how they just, in a very raw and real way, just went for it with their emotions. I'm so grateful for all of the material that's out there for me to learn from and keep learning from. So yeah, I would say that they're definitely among them. But yeah, I also would say Louise Hay, just because on a completely left field, random, outside of the music industry, she was heralding metaphysical health, and I'm a huge fan of that and energy and how we can live our best lives. So I would put out there too.
All right, Amy May, everybody, go check out her CD. Again, I'm going to bring it up just for you guys to go check it out. It's Mystic. This is one of her latest albums, and I want to do the album cover with the big album. Can we do that? Because there's a vinyl movement going on. I think we need to raise money for that. How much does that cost typically? It's not easy for an independent artist, right?
Yes, I remember looking into it, and I'm not sure. It's around $20 or $30, I think, for each one. And I can't remember in terms of the production. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's another way for people to kind of have a memento of your music. I know a lot of people have very precious record collections and, that they keep. And in England, we call them records. We use vinyl as well. But yeah, so I think it's, any way to kind of hold on to music and have that kind of physical part of it there too, I think is beautiful.
All right. Well, we've kept you long enough. Thank you, Amy, for spending time with us. I'm so glad we finally got you on the morning show. It will be a day in the record books for all time, because I'm pretty sure I'm never going to see you after this. I hope not. I will, because I want you on Sundays all the time, right? So for those that haven't been tuning in, they can go follow you Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and much, much more. Thank you for spending time with us, Amy.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate it. And I will come back whenever you want.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. We're going to say adieu to Amy. And again, if you're just joining us and you just missed out on an entirely basically mini live concert, seriously, that was basically a free mini concert. You're welcome. But look, if your heart moves you to support her during this time that we're living in, look, she, along with so many other musicians, are having the same experience. I know comedians, I know entertainers, I know people that typically make their money traveling, touring, and of course, sometimes, holding down 20 million different jobs, right? Just to do what they love. And sometimes people don't appreciate it. They rip the music, and then they use it for their own means without paying back the person who created it, especially independent artists. So I will say this, if you find Amy, her melody just soothes you and or makes you feel good, then go and support her just a little bit. Okay. You can easily, I put the link, PayPal, also Venmo. Those are her direct ones. We took out us. We're not the middleman. All right. There's no middleman here. Because, I, in some small way, want to support her. Again, ever since I met her, I instantly fell in love with the music. I knew she was going to be quite big, to be honest. And I can tell you right now, ahead of time, she's going to be massively popular. So get it while you can. Get it while you can, send her directly. And because pretty soon before launch, she's going to have middlemen up the wazoo. She'll be let's see, Lady Gaga. You'll be like, wait, what? Oh, I remember what you went, right? That's get them when you remember them before they blow up, because then you'll be like, see, I was among the first. I've done that with several musicians that have blown up, and now I can't even get a hold of them. And I told them that. I told them I'm not going to be able to get a hold of you. And 5 of them already are pretty big. So it's a thing, people. But look, let's see. Let's bring up the comments here in social media here. Rosalie says, new fan here. I'm glad, right? I knew there would be new fans there. I appreciate you. Let's see. Maria also says, oh my God, all the female greats. Stay true to yourself, Amy, right? And she also says this, I have records from when I was a young girl. Let's see. Fraser as well says, thanks. Great interview. And I appreciate all of you. I really do. In reality, she brought up some really cool stuff, which I love to talk about, but I don't always like to talk about. And it's about people's energy, right? Because sometimes when I say that, people go, well, what are you talking about? I hear that. It's a lot of foo-foo. It doesn't make any sense. So I like to kind of bring reality into people's mindset to help them understand what sometimes I think is just there, but we often don't give we don't acknowledge it. But just because we don't acknowledge it doesn't mean it's not still there, right? For example, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I used to have a hard time explaining this to my mother, who oftentimes was like, what are you talking about? You talking about your light bill energy? Or are we talking about that? And I said, well, I guess it's a starting point, right? Okay. For example, energy, although you don't have to see it, you can see the end result, right? But you have to plug into it, right? However, what if I told you energy is all around us, right? Energy is what actually holds the cosmos together. There's a very interesting phenomenon that happens, and it's called static electricity. And if you've ever walked on a particular carpet and or touched a metal surface and or somebody else, you go just right, you have a little instant shock between the two of you, right? That's electricity being generated in your body because we're living, we're breathing, we're moving. And no truth to the rumor, in order to start your heart back, what do? Boom, right? Shock you with electricity. You understand? We are literally energy means. It's just, I mean, right? You take away the energy from your brain, what happens, right? The brain's not communicating. It's sending little electrical pulses, which you're generating a certain amount of electricity in the brain in order to keep it going, in order to make the connections between the proteins of the brain, the biological portion of the brain, and certain memories. There's little synapses firing. They could find them, and they put electrodes on the human brain. It's amazing. It's a great science. And they actually can tap into what part of the brain is currently active and or not active. There's certain parts of the brain that kind of remain dormant. They're currently trying to figure out what those parts of the brain actually do in certain humans. So they compare it with other humans where it's quite active all of a sudden. They're like, wait, what are you thinking about? So then they test them. They give them visual cues. They give them visual and or experiences. They put like a video camera in front of them. They say, okay, what are you feeling? And then they see portions of the brain suddenly light up, right? So if you think in terms of just your human body, you already know and or understand, oh yeah, that's right, we kind of are conduits of electrical energy, right? For example, and I'm dating myself here, but if you ever took an old screen television, for those ones of you that remember that with the rabbit ears, right? And you suddenly like said, hey, Johnny, can you go fix the television screen? It's jagged. It's there's a lot of snow on that picture, right? Well, here's the thing about that. Whenever you see the snow and or the little dots there, that's actually something, it's a phenomenon that's oftentimes referred to as, for those of you that study space, okay, in space, there is, and they tapped into it, there's an electrical field that we're seeing, and they often refer to, I forget the word for it exactly, but it's an electrical charge that we're seeing through the cosmos of time that is being sent from somewhere of the universe. It creates, well, it's in radio waves, for example, and I forget the term, but it'll come to me when it needs to. But so back it up, right? Johnny, can you fix we had rabbit ears back then. For those of you that don't know, that are too young to remember, yes, we had little antennas, and there's cars that still have these, by the way, where the antenna comes up, right? You push your radio, the little, right? New cars, you don't have this, but old cars, you're like, what is that, Mom? That's called an antenna. Okay, that thing goes high up enough because there's always radio waves going throughout your own sphere of influence. Literally, they're always traveling. Many are invisible. You don't know until you tap into the right frequency via your antenna, right, on your vehicle and or your television device. Used to be even more so prevalent, but now they're called HDTV. It's the same concept, but it's going throughout the universe and or our inner space, because technically they say if you broadcast something, you can see it from another planet years away. Once it gets there, the radio signal, right? Radio signals that you send out eventually get seen somewhere throughout time. And or you could beam all the way from Mars, a land rover, a specific amount of information to us here on Earth, and we can see pictures of Mars. You see, understand what I'm saying? Like there's waves going through us. We don't even see and or understand until you tap into the right frequency. You understand? So energy coupled with tapping into the right frequency can create amazing music. Meaning, all of a sudden you could turn the radio dial, KMET 1490 AM, right? We're on an AM channel, right? Then there's FM, right? But AM is one among the very basic, very early adopters, which often is why it's usually talk radio, rarely music radio. But, since we're online, I figure we might as well do it all. But then there's FM, right? So FM is a higher frequency, which it can pack in more punch. So you get what they call higher fidelity range, because it's a broader range, right? AM's a little bit limited, so they can only put in so much information, but it's very reliable. So in the event that there's ever like a natural disaster, you go to AM radio, right? FM could be potentially offsetting. So that's why I always say, and before there's a natural disaster, always get a little transistor radio. If you have like one of those crank up radios that has a flashlight and it has a little power device and has other things like that, they sell those for like less than $30 now. They're really cheap. But my point is, hey, get one of those, okay? Because you never know when the big one's happening. But back to reality. Okay, so back to energy. Energy is constantly throwing through us and or around us, but it doesn't always emanate like from a radio station and or a television station and or your Wi-Fi signal, right? There's all types of frequencies happening in or without you, if you're at home and you have a Wi-Fi device, perfect example. There's Wi-Fi signal constantly being sent through you and or around you all the time, right? And in order to decode it on one end, you have to have the right frequency of the router. All is frequency. Wi-Fi is a type of frequency, by the way. And they tap into this, and then you would know, because if you got the wrong frequency, well, then you like, where's the signal? You understand? That's where you get like low Wi-Fi, right? You're like, where's my Wi-Fi signal? So our computer devices, our cellular devices, we understand more frequency now more than ever before. But technically, when you speak, you're uttering sound through your voice. So be careful how you speak to somebody, because frequency from one person to another can be heard and or felt. If you don't believe me, have you ever had somebody come at you quite angry, right? And they come out so angry. Now, one of two things. One, you're like, let me turn off this hearing aid. That'd be great, right? So now you don't hear them, right? But in essence, you're looking at them, you're like, well, they're obviously angry about something, right? You can see the visual cues. So visual cues sometimes are pretty alarming. But have you ever asked somebody that's currently like deaf and or, well, just deaf, what they sense and or experience? It's different. Sometimes people say when they walk into a room, I can feel the negativity here. I could cut it with a knife. It's so thick, right? It's in the air. All right. That's a form of energy people are emanating and they don't even know it's there, right? So that's a very basic baseline. If you can understand that, honestly, then you're ready for the next step. And here's the next step. People can, well, let me put it this way. What type of energy are you sending out? And the easiest way to determine what type of energy you're sending out, whether you're aware of it or not, is ask yourself this question. How am I making other people feel around me? Okay. And or how do I feel when I'm around that person? Suddenly. Like I was having a great day until I came into their realm, right? Oh man, they're having a bad day. But they're not saying a word. Now you get visual cues, you go, oh, you're more quiet than normal, but okay. But if you silence yourself enough, well, sometimes you don't feel their energy, right? Sometimes you just go, oh man, somebody's mad, right? You know the signature, right? Maybe you've been together with somebody else so long, you're like, I know you. I know there's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. If a lady tells you that, gentlemen, there's something wrong. Okay, seriously, no, there's nothing wrong. There's two ways of hearing it, right? No, there's nothing wrong. When it's abrupt, there's something wrong, right? Frequency coming from the mouth, coming from somewhere. Oh yes, it's called the brain. People say no, it's the heart. Well, sometimes but the heart emotional portion is stuck in the brain. It's exuded in the heart because, of course, the body beats. It beats a certain amount of and even that's a frequency. If you look at the heart when it beats, right, they can determine in science, oh, you're so many beats per minute. Well, the faster you are, right? Like if you're in love, right? If you're in love, all of a sudden, your brain can't think. Your heart's like, ba-dum, 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 right? But if you track it, it's a portion of the brain. We're usually right about here in men and here in women. And women have a very interesting emotional system in their brain. Who ends up spending the most time with the children, right? A highly developed sense of emotional center, right? Whereas some of us on the opposite side, but one size doesn't fit all, by the way. There's some women that I've seen, they completely know how to shut that off. Like they're like numb, right? I don't know why I don't feel anything for you all of a sudden. It's weird, right? And some people do that automatically so because they don't want to feel hurt. They don't want to feel suffering. They don't want to feel pain. They've already felt it once in their life. They're like, I'm just not going to bother. I'm not going to put my energy right there at the moment in time, right? But it's still an emotion that eventually is going to be seen at some point. Back to PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder oftentimes is somebody suppressing their emotions so much that at some point it tries to eke out of the body eventually, because trauma has a way of doing that to the human mind. Which is why if you're suffering from a traumatic moment in time, it's very important to seek a trusted professional to help you work through it. In reality, sometimes you have to not just work through it, you have to almost go through it in order to relive it, in order to, well, see, that's the problem right there. So many people go, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go to hypnosis, right? I'm going to go to a person. They're going to help me regress to that moment in time. And yeah, they're going to just, unwind the clock, so to speak. I say, whoa. Sometimes there's some memories that just belong locked up for now, right? And or if you're going to do it with somebody that you trust, because there's so many videos online which sometimes make you tap into that, but you're not around anybody. And all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I tapped into a memory that I probably shouldn't have access because I need somebody there in the event that I feel those emotions once again. You understand? So sometimes asking for help from somebody that you trust and or is a good human being that knows what they're doing, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's very necessary. Okay. Sometimes Amy May, right? Loved her amazing music, right? If you are just joining us, I see some of you popping up right here, right now, and you missed that great portion of the show. You can always rewind and go to the beginning part of the show or go check it out, Amy May music. But she mentioned in a couple of her songs how she had a love lost, right? And each love is always different, right? They're never the same, right? And if you've been alive as long as I have, maybe you've had moments in time. You always want that one to be the one, but then you're like, oh, you weren't the one because time and unforeseen occurrence. All right. Sometimes people move on. Sometimes they move on to someone else. Sometimes they move on and they never move on, right? Sometimes one moves on, the other one doesn't move on. And then you're like, well, man, what happened there, right? Which I say, hey, each to their own. No judgment. It is what it is, except when it paralyzes you from just moving forward. I'm talking about the type of heartbreak that makes you want to give up on life. Don't let that heartbreak make you give up on life. Okay? If you are going through a tough time, admittedly, so there's some breakups happening right now that I was like, there's an all-time high of divorce rate. There's an all-time high of breakups right now, which I say, don't break up. I mean, if you're going to break up to make up. Unless, of course, one of you cheats, and then that's a whole other realm, which, again, sometimes kids are involved. Sometimes they want to make it work. Sometimes it's hard. Just don't cheat on your significant other if you say you love them. And I always say this. Look, if you love me enough, tell me you're going to cheat before you actually do cheat, and then we can walk away, and we could both be like, all right, well, that didn't work, and then you just there you go. See ya. Right? Didn't work. All right, cool. Right? And sometimes that doesn't work, right? Because you think, oh, it's never going to get there. And all of a sudden, boom, something happens. And you're like, oh, man, well, that's never going to work out, right? One time saw somebody post most recently, cheaters are going to end up cheating with other people, right? It's like, recently I met several people which are like, yeah, I'm a cheater. I'm like, well, then do the right thing by your wife, right? Had that conversation. That was a weird conversation. The guy cheating on his wife. Not once, not twice, multiple times. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He goes, I don't know. It's prom. I'm weak. I said, no, you're not weak. You're just not loving enough of your wife. Do the right thing. Let her go. Because obviously you're going somewhere. Has she ever cheated on you? No. Let her go. Let her move on. So some men and women out there are so consumed with keeping the one person in their life, but they'll step out on them. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't. I get an accidental moment, but this guy, 12 women. 12 women. Count them. 12 women. You're probably thinking, why did he confess to you? It was a long story. But there's some men out there who are habitual cheaters. Look, there's women too. I know them. Hopefully I never dated one, but my point is I know of them, okay? And meaning that some of them are good friends, okay? But my point is this. I guess I draw the line only if there are kids involved and or you made a pact, meaning like, and I always say this, hey, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going to be the one to cheat, then yeah, might as well be expected for the other one to cheat. Well, and all of a sudden jealousy. No, they can't. Wait, what? I do this to men all the time. Oh, okay. So obviously you're okay with her cheating with 25 men. What is wrong with you? They say to me every single time. Never, because you just see that. Huh? I always say that to people. I'm like, well, okay. So you're thinking about somebody else, right? Oh, okay. So you don't think that affects your significant other? Well, of course it does. It affects them. Oh, not enough, evidently, because you're still having this conversation with me. And then I just simply say, so I'm just curious. If the roles were reversed, how would you feel if they did that to you and you were on the receiving end? You're okay with it now, huh? I never get a straight answer because usually the person in the relationship never got outside of themselves to think about the other person if the roles were reversed. But suddenly something jogs their memory like, oh no, yeah, you were thinking about yourself the whole time. Selfish. You didn't bother to think about the other person. You just thought of yourself the whole time. But now when I turn around the tables and you start thinking about yourself, oh, you get that moment, right? Still thinking about yourself. You didn't think about the other person. If you really thought about the other person, you'd say, look, I messed up. You're free to leave me. There you go. Why would you hold on to that person? And worse yet, this person said they had money and they didn't want to part with it. I was like, you're some kind of douche. I thought you were a friend. You're no longer a friend. And I walked out on them, admittedly. So it was the stupidest conversation I've ever heard. Stupid, dumb, idiotic. But I told him, man, you don't tell her. Trust me. Somebody's going to tell her. She's going to find out. Because karma, ooh, I wouldn't want to be you. It's going to come around. Oh, ooh. And when it comes around, ouch. Oh, sometimes it manifests in other ways. You ever see that person? They're like, well, I don't know why my whole life is terrible. You're like, well, did you see what you did in the meantime? I don't deserve that. Did you know what you did to other people? Well, no. Right? I think when we all die at some point, it's a fact of life, right? We're all at some point, right? Don't rush there. There's a journey to get there. But I'm sure at the end of day, whatever day that is, I would say, people ask me all the time, is this the end of days? Is this the last days? Is this? I go, be concerned with your day, right? We all have a limited amount of days left, whatever that is. So live it well. I always say, live it well. But sometimes I wonder, at the end of it all, of whoever it is, on the flip side of that, if whatever that realm is, right? The realm goes, hey, so about that, how you feel now? What do you mean? You feel pretty good, right? Like you left the earth in your sleep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Totally cool. What's this cool new place? Well, hold on. We got some questions for you. The man or woman, right? Questions. Oh, yeah. I always heard this was a thing. Okay, it's a thing. It's a thing. Okay, all right, let's do this. All right, cool. I'm ready for you. I've thought of my answers ahead of time, by the way. I'm just not going to tell them. Wait, why am I talking out loud with my voice and then the other realm goes, oh, we have a truth serum thing where you can't lie up here. It's impossible. Like you can't. So everything you say will be used against you here because, we know all your thoughts, literally. You're going to try to hold back, but you can't. You're just going to speak from your own mind. I thought I was going to get away with this. What's wrong with me? Oh my God, I wish I could go back. What? Why am I saying this? Again, truth. Okay, just agree to disagree. You got to tell us the truth. Okay, so here's the questions. Whether you like it or not, you're going to answer the truth because this is in your very, very innermost part of your, your brain's over there now, but your consciousness is here. You get it? So now your consciousness is here. It's all grouped up. It's kind of like in a floating little light bulb, but that's you. You see yourself differently. Blah blah blah. Okay, so got a question for you. All right, here's the question. How do you feel about the life you lived? The person stops and thinks like, I'm pretty sure I can outsmart this gatekeeper, right? Because there's a gatekeeper. There's got to be a gatekeeper, right? Oh boy. Okay. So, he's thinking that literally, this is the gatekeeper. Wait, why am I saying this out loud? Again, your thoughts are like, I'm going to hear everything you think. Wait, what? Everything? Oh, man. I'm so stupid. I hate my life. My life was terrible, and I wronged so many different people. I hope they're not here. And oh, my God, it's coming out. Yeah, actually, you got 12 people here. They're just waiting for you to confess. Wait, confess about what? Well, you did some stuff down there, and now they've been here. Remember those people that you hurt 3 of them are here already. The others are the family members. And they just want to hear, because they've been here the whole time just watching you. What? Yeah, they want to know why you cheated on her, didn't tell her, she had to find out, and oh, by the way, she's here because you know that moment that in time where you couldn't find her all of a sudden? She died. She committed suicide. Oh, is that why she disappeared off the planet and I couldn't find her? Yeah. So, you know, how do you feel about the life you lived? But now they're quiet. They don't want to talk because now they don't know what to say. They have no feeling. They have no thought. They have nothing. Right? So the gatekeeper says, okay, we kind of figured you'd go into this mode. Okay, so here's the next question. Whether you like it or not, you're going to answer it. If you had to do it over again, would you still do it? Yeah, I'd do it. It was a fun time. I would never not do it. I mean, it caused her pain and suffering, but oh my God, did I just say that? Except they don't stop themselves because they keep going. Yeah, I knew it's going to cause a problem, but you know what? Honestly, I don't love them anymore. I mean, you know, I thought I loved them when I married them, but then, well, they weren't so great, and you know what? And so I just found a better, suitable person, and you know what? They were better and for me, and I felt kind of good at the time. So yeah, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Is that an option? Oh man, did I just say that out loud? The whole family. We always wondered about that. Now the next step. Well, she's here. She has some words for you. ... Whatever the words are, right? You get what I'm saying here, people? Look, I think we would do things differently if we asked ourselves this question. How do you want to be remembered when everything is made aware at some point with everyone in time? How do you want to be remembered? I don't think any of us asked that question. Not really. Because we think, I'm going to go to my grave with this secret. Ha! Wink, wink, right? Yeah, I don't think it works that way. I really don't. I mean, you can agree to disagree, but I feel there's at least a semblance of truth there. All things will be made known eventually. You know, there's a scripture proverb that says that. And I always wondered, I go, I wonder what that means. All things will be known eventually, you know? Yeah, maybe that's at the end of our day, right? Because I mean, think about it, right? How do you be a gatekeeper to whatever realm you're going to go to next, right? Whatever that realm is. I don't believe in hellfire. I think that's like unjust. I don't think that's a cool God to serve, and I don't think God would do that to us. But my point is this: I'm sure there's like levels of realities that based on like what would the family say, and or the wife that's now on that side taken away from her children. Now, she has some ownership too, don't get me wrong. And here's what I mean by that. Before he died, she died, right? Now she's in heaven. Or the other realm, whatever realm you think it is. Life on earth, resurrected. There's a lot of theories out there. There's a ton of them. Okay, but let's just say in that moment, the question is this. So we saw you were heartbroken. We're very sad about that. And we get it. And she goes, yeah. Well, we get it. We get it. We do. We honestly, we're watching the whole time. Because we got a lot of time up here. Time's different from here to there. And what's nanosecond there is like a year here. And so it's just time difference. It's the way we work. It's why you guys can't see us when we're in the room. Because we're so fast. We're like a hummingbird. So fast, though, right? And just because we're like the Flash, and you're like slow, right? Okay, so the lady goes, "Wait, what? You were there the whole time?" Yeah, it's a thing, but we digress. So at the end of the day, you took your life. You were heartbroken. You found out he cheated on you not once, not twice, but 8 times, right? But if you could go back and do it again, would you do it different? Like, would you just, I don't know, if you had like a certain set of like abilities and like you could find out, or you could like warn yourself ahead of time, would you have done it differently? Like, I don't know. Don't know. Well, you have children still there. And, oh, that's right. Now, I'm just going to stop the hypothetical situation that I think happens a lot. Who's more at trouble there? Is it her or is it him? Who's more responsible? Her or him? I'll let you be the judge in your life, okay? I'm not even gonna like that's a moral dilemma. I know how I would feel if I were the one who caused that problem in the end. Throw the book at me. Give me the worst you got. I deserve it. And I don't know how. You need to like make it okay for her and just throw the book at me. That's and I probably would hate it, whatever that suffering is that I'd have to undergo. But I know this. In life, nobody bothers to ask that question. How do you really want to be remembered once everything comes out in the end? Because everything you do will be made manifest eventually. And if you don't believe me, make matters right ahead of time, right? No, I'm going to wait till the end. All right, you're going to be a laughingstock for all time. Because they're going to be like, well, you died like that. Did you guys see the movie Coco? Right? Coco, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to give away the ending, but he's like, yeah, I died over chorizo. And everyone's like, chorizo. But they had the wrong portion of truth, right? There was a portion of truth thrown up there until the real truth came out, right? And I can't tell you the end story of that, but, you know, long story short, if you haven't seen Coco, it gets me every time, okay? But in the story, everybody knows. Right, everybody's aware of it. Chorizo, he's died from chorizo. Yeah, okay, all right, it was bad chorizo, right? Even he thought he died of chorizo, right? Newsflash is not chorizo that he died from, right? This isn't. Coco's the grandma, the kids, I forget his name, but I always call him Coco. He's not Coco. It was the grandma that was Coco. I can't give away the ending. I'm going to shut my mouth there, okay? But my point is this: if you've already seen it, you know how it goes. So I'm just going to say this much. In the end, no matter what that end is, everybody's going to find out. But everybody's going to find out about everybody's stuff. So then everybody's like, wait, you did that to me wrong. Wait, what did you do wrong? Oh, you know what? There it is, right? Everybody has so much time on the other side. I'm like, well, you know, let's watch everybody's story when they come in. Whoop, there's another one. Yep. Oh, wow. Oof, right? Or maybe it isn't everybody, but it's just the select few that were honestly affected the hardest. And if you don't believe me on that, well, then, you know, I got nothing. But at the end of the day, you got to believe in something, right? You got to believe in your actions are going to have consequences at some point in life. You just got to hope they understand the subcontext, right? Because look, on the flip side of that, I know of people that are quite vulnerable and taken advantage of, right? We all know them. Sometimes we are them. And there's people that take advantage of others, admittedly so. Their emotional state, right? Sad. They have no intention of being there forever. They simply just want to get a good time on, right? You know them. They prey like on married women that are like sad, miserable, and or frustrated, right? I mean, it takes two to tango. Don't get me wrong. Or maybe somebody broke up, or worse yet, they're widowed. Right? But the person going in has no intention of staying. Not really. They just like, oh, let's just have a good time and mosey on, right? And some on the flip side, they don't tell the other person that. They could tell, right? They're like, I just want. And you look, no judgment. I get it. People, you know, want to not face the moment and try to sidestep. But I guess my point is this one. Take the example of this one. Back to the guy. I figured out pretty quickly that he actually was taking advantage of other women in their emotional state. only because I happen to know one of them who we took advantage of way back in the day. I always wondered, how did this come about, right? But long story short, he took advantage of a very fragile moment in her mind, right? She was going through a little breakup, and she had just lost her husband, and he was always in her ear because technically, the truth came out. He is the reason her husband cheated on her in the first place. He introduced this man to other women. You understand? Boy. So you're probably thinking, what is going on in this guy's head, right? Hello, he wants to get with the wife. Remember that whole do not covet? Yeah, because it could cause problems down the line. And by the way, this is the guy that actually told her, your husband's cheating on you. This is how you can find out. Look at that. How wicked is that? I thought he was I was like, oh, you're no friend of mine. I just get out of my presence. It's sickened me. Ugh, disgusting. It's not my place to say his name publicly, so I'm never going to say that. But, he knows who he is. But my point is this, okay? In life, you got to ask yourself the question, am I okay with hurting the people around me? So much so that if everything came to the surface right here, right now, I'd have a leg to stand on in order to explain to them why I'm causing them so much suffering right here, right now. Because right now, especially during coronavirus, is not the time to take advantage of people's weaknesses and or suffering already. It really isn't. I mean, if you're going to be open and honest, just be like, hey, this is just a fling. You're good. All right. You hear the term friends with benefits, right? That's the thing. But it's at least understood by both parties. They're like, okay. I mean, no judgment. Seriously, no judgment. It's a mutual, hey, it's just a thing, right? Okay, it's just a thing. Okay, until somebody suddenly formulates feelings, but then the other person doesn't want to tell the other person that they have feelings all of a sudden. So now the other person's like, you understand what I'm saying? So now you got two people going like, oh no, and now they're just like kind of hiding, but not hiding. But then like, we did say friends with benefits, right? Well, yeah, but I'm kind of become not a friend anymore. I kind of feel like you should be more this way than that way. And then it gets really heated, but at least you're open and honest is what I say. At least you're open and honest with each other. You knew where you stood, right? People that divorce, right? Hey, you're not working out for me. I'm not working out for you. You're not going to cheat on me. I'm not going to cheat on you. All right. Wait, what? Some people separate. You understand what I'm saying? They don't divorce, but they separate. You know what? We need a separation. Hopefully we can come back together. I just need time alone. Okay. And then they come back together 3 months later. You know what? There's nothing out there for me. But they don't say that. They just say, you know what? I miss you. I'm so sorry. I was thinking some dumb stuff. Oh, yeah. Me too. I regret what we did. Yeah. Me too. I just want to make it work out. Yeah. Me too. Totally. Let's work it out. Yeah. It's a jungle out there. I don't know what I was thinking. I've known of marriages like this. The guy steps out. He comes back. The woman in his life is like, oh, really? Huh. But there's a child involved. So oftentimes it's the lady. The lady's like, okay, let's work it out for the kids. She doesn't even want to know what happened. I'm the opposite. I want to know. Wait. Whoa. Did you or did you not do something while we were broken up or separated, right? I mean, we both agreed a separation was needed, right? Huh? Yeah, I'm separate. So it's an easy answer. Did you or did you not have relations with another woman? No. God, no. Right? You see, but usually men are smarter than that. Here's what they do. A man will typically say, and women, this to be true. I shouldn't even tell this because the lady's like, don't tell the men. It's all right. So you ladies have certain little telltale signs. Trust me, men can sniff them a mile away. You both do. We all do. We all have little moments. You're like, there it is, right? And then some overthink things. They're like, no, I seriously was always look at my phone history. Look, this is all my stuff. Would I show it to you? Right? Some people do that. Some people are like, oh, don't do that. I'm like, yeah, I got nothing to hide. Yeah, this girl hit me up. 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 Look at my response. Going through a rough time. I can't go there. Oh, there's my responses. Where's your responses? I don't want to show you. Well, then, well, I guess we know where we sit on that, right? Those are with like habitual liars that like, no, they're really good at lying. You're like, I can't tell if they're lying or not, right? But typically, men will offset it. Oh, woman, what are you talking about? What's wrong with you, man? You're the only one for me. Duh. Come on. Well, you wouldn't trust me on that? You know what? I can't believe you didn't trust me. And then all of a sudden it gets really heated, and the other person's like, what's wrong with me? What? Yeah, I should trust you. That's right. I mean, you're the one that wanted separation, wanted your time. That's the point I'm talking about. You understand? But sometimes it works both ways. And look, it both say, yeah, I did, but it didn't mean anything. So just so you know, look, each one has a decision to make. I'm not going to judge it, but be open and honest about it. Rip off the Band-Aid now, right? It's not that easy. I hear people saying, right? It's not that easy, Aaron. But I mean, I have a whole family I'm going to lose. They better make it right, because eventually at some point, well, no, I'm going to take my chances. Okay, I'm just telling you, I'm going to don't shoot the messenger. At some point, all things are being made known at some point, and it's going to be quite embarrassing because everybody's going to know everything. You're going to have that truth serum. You might as well tell the truth now before, well, whenever that day comes, right? So if you are currently okay with your current situation, then great. You got nothing to hide. You can sleep at night. Fine. But don't drag in your loving mate who just wants to be there for you and has never, ever, ever stepped out on you at all. I mean, there's a difference of wanting to and then doing the act, right? Some people, they look at Instagram all day long. Oh, wow. Okay. That's men, right? Right? And women, ladies, you know what you're doing. Seriously, especially you single ladies, I know, because I see the pictures all the time. Oh, there's one. Yep, there's one. Right? You always tell women who wants attention from men, right? Which I say, ladies, look, I'm talking to the ladies in the room, particularly men. You're a different breed altogether. But ladies, look, if you're gonna post pictures, post some thinking pictures. Seriously, you know the lady, and I've got some. They're friends. They're gonna take onus of this. The ones that only post of themselves and nothing of what they do in life. You understand? They only post of themselves. It's only themselves. Every single post. I have some. I'm like, well, that's a different color of shade on you, but it's the same post, time and again. You show your brain. You have brains, right? It's not just all physical appearance. And ladies, if it's just about the outward appearance, then are you working on the inward appearance? Oh, I'm a good person. Well, then good. Then show more of that if you want to show anything. If you want to bring a man into your realm, don't just show just the pretty pictures. And smart men then want smart women. So own that. I know many of you are really smart. You're just not used to believing it in yourself. And there's some men out there the same way. I've talked to quite a few, right? They can't find a lady in their life. They look so they down themselves all the time. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. They go throughout life just, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Till somebody believes in them, right? I've had like 5 different conversations like, what's wrong with you, right? Don't think like that. It's easier said than done. You have to figure out where the root cause is. Well, who was the first person to tell you were stupid and or dumb? I don't know. And then, we go through an exercise and they go, oh yeah, there it is. You need to root that out. You need to get rid of that. It's not true. You need to, some of you love to do, and some of you don't even know this. There's certain affirmations people say. Affirmations are good words to express to yourself, so your subconscious mind hears it on a regular basis. Sometimes you don't give enough positive thoughts into your brain that you hear only negativity in your brain. You hear bad people speaking abusively about you. If you don't believe me, okay, I recently spoke to a musician friend. And the musician friend honestly thought her friends were her friends until she found out, as of most recently, 3 of them talked behind her back and said, oh, she has a terrible voice. She's never going to make it in life. And the musician was like, Oh, they don't have good voices either. But why would they? They said they were my friend. Simple solution. I said they're jealous of your voice because it's true. Her voice, second to none. I know a lot of musicians, so I'm not going to tell you who that was. But my point is this. Sometimes the friends you think you have are the friends that behind closed doors speak abusively of you. Uh-huh. Yeah. You almost want to be a fly on that wall, right? You almost want to be like, oh, that's what you thought of me. Huh. Good to know. But sometimes we're that person, right? We speak abusively to somebody else. Oh, just so you know. Just so you know. You know what he did when nobody was looking? He cheated on his wife. Yeah, back to the end time, right? Back to the cheater dude, right? You don't think the other realm talks abusively of all of us behind our backs until we get there? And they're like, oh, by the way, we were laughing at you the whole time. We were like, when are they going to get it? Right? Agree to disagree. But look, at the end of the day, it's a theory. I'm working on it still. Who knows whether it's true or not? But boy, if it were true, woo boy. That's why I say it each and every day to myself. I say, oh man, would I be yeah, am I gonna be that guy that's gonna be like, people are gonna laugh at in the end? To which I say, no. If anything, I think people are gonna say, well, at least he was honest about his life. Enough so that he was like, yeah, I made mistakes. Each and every time I ever made a really terrible mistake, I had to admit it to the offending person. The one that I offended. I just feel it's the right way to go. Let your sins be known. Admittedly so, even though it's going to hurt you in the end, right? I'm not going to lie. I stepped out on my first wife. I did. I mean, there were extenuating circumstances nobody knows about, but I did. And I admittedly admitted it right there and then. So I'm the first one to say, yeah. It was no fun. No fun. But I knew this. I didn't want her under the mindset of, oh, hey, I was going to go have fun without you, and eventually, hopefully you never find out. I'm going to keep you on a leash, blah, 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 blah. And no. Called her up. I made a terrible mistake. I'm sorry. And the rest is history. That was my first wife. Admittedly so. It took me a long time to recover on that. Long time. Total of about 8 years. Because I held myself down. I remember it got to a point where I actually met somebody else later on in life. And I was like, you know what? This is the one for me. This is totally the one. But that guilt from the last one that I had wronged kept haunting me in my mind. I don't deserve happiness. I made her unhappy. Honestly, there was a part of me that just said, I don't deserve happiness. And a part of me said, well, when she's married and happy, my ex-wife, I mean, maybe I can finally be happy. I said that in my own head. I'm admitting this because I don't know why I'm saying it, but there it is. And I held back. I held back when I should have moved forward. I mean, in hindsight. But my ex-wife and I, still friends to this day. And she's married. And she moved on. And she's happy, by the way. Living safely. But there isn't a day that goes by that I don't feel regret. Guilt for what I did way back when. So I feel to those in the room that say, no, I feel no regret about what I've done. I'd do it all over again. Just on purpose. Whoa. Just whoa. Right? There's something wrong there. If you want to do it all over again, you brought suffering and or shame and or hurt to somebody else. Now here's where I take a backseat. It should not look, if the person forgives you and or you confessed your sin, right? There's all kinds of scriptures and or books that say confession is good for the soul, right? And if you confessed and you've left it, there's one that says, if you've left it at the altar, then know that you will be blessed eventually, right? So a lot of people, well, including myself, the reason it took me forever to get over it was I did not want to forgive myself for this act. Now, to this day, she says to me, don't worry, I get it. We're past that. I'm good. I was like, really? Yeah. I'm not even just saying that. I'm good. You're happy, right? Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. So I'm carrying this bag of rocks made by myself for myself, right? So I think at some point you got to kind of like set down those rocks in order to move forward, right? Because I held on to them for too long. So don't hold on to your bag of stuff for too long. Have your bag of stuff. Acknowledge you have a bag of stuff, and then at least say this much. I'm sorry. I am sorry. And talk to the people that you've wronged. I'll let them know how you're wrong. You're not right. Sorry. It's better for you. It feels a whole lot better when you get it off your chest. It really does. Unless, of course, people find out and then they like laugh at you and they're like, oh, you're so stupid, right? This is when people go, well, wow, you're so adamant about that. Yeah, because, I'm sure it'll help somebody down the line. Because I'm now well past that guilt, right? Because I say, well, she's happy in the end. And I owned up to it. And I think it's a better man and a bigger man to admit to something that you did wrong than pretend like nothing's wrong with you, right? Because then how do you tackle that? How do you address your weakness and or your problem in your head if you constantly, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm good. I've heard this, admittedly so, from people. Yeah, I'm that person. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just that person. You're not going to apologize because you're just that person, but you just caused 3 people to die from overdose of drugs because you were a drug dealer. Oh, okay. All right. Because you're that person. All right. You don't want to apologize for that. Yeah, I'm just that person. So you don't want to change? No, I'm good with who I am. I don't want to be you, but okay, whatever. Hate to be on your last day. I'm pretty sure that realm is not good. But anyway, you get where I'm going with this? Okay, people, I run out of time. I really have. But look, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. There's a lot of stuff I share. I share it hoping somebody makes sense of it and at least says, and look, if you're the cheater in the room, openly confess it to your significant other. Who knows? They might even forgive you. Some do. Some women, so forgiving. Some men, so forgiving. But, be open and honest. Would hate for it to be on that last day. And you're like, oh, where am I at? Oh, we got a question for you. All right, people, I love you. I appreciate you. If you are just joining us, Amy May, I'm going to pop up her CD. We had her in on the show earlier, live and in person. Amy May, Mystic is where it's at. You can get her album and or CD, whatever you want to call it, and or record, as she said, in the UK is what they still use it as. I used to use records. Remember records back in the day? Records, Tower Records. Does anybody go back that far? Raise your hand if you remember Tower Records. Okay, people, I've run out of time. Seriously, whatever you do, remember this. In life, we're all got to live together. We all got to make sense of it all. And we all at least got to say, look, I'm in it to win it. Are you in it to win it? If we're both in it to win it, then let's move forward. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.